right? So I decided to do a stream right quick because, like I said, I refuse to promote this fight. But now that the fight is over, we'll talk about it. So, Jake Paul further proved what I've been saying about this dude ever since I seen him fight with uh, the Nate Robinson fight. He's just further proved that he isn't a real fighter, that this is a gimmick. And if you haven't seen that, Jake Paul will never fight a real, actual fighter with even half decent boxing skills. Where does he go from here? I think Jake Paul looked terrible in the fight. He got tired. Um, he showed his lack of boxing skills, and Tyrone Woodley been utilizing his jab and then going upstairs more and then going over the top, he would have knocked Jake Paul out. Watching that, just got through watching that I guess you could call that a fight. I don't know what to call that, but at the end of the day, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. On some real, on some real, and I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I think really, I think really, if I really trained hard, I think on the real, uh, I just seen some stuff that you could exploit with Jake Paul. If you really like use what I would do, I would use the high guard, walk him down, and I would like nail him to the body and go upstairs. And then I would turn him because you could see his punches coming a mile away. And Tyrone Woodley almost knocked Jake Paul through the ropes. And then yeah, I agree, Taco K. If he had had more form, he would have been able to get Jake Paul out of there. I think Woodley should have got the nod because he was supposed to get knocked out. He was supposed to get knocked out. He didn't remotely look close to get knocked out. And keep in mind, this dude was a welterweight. This dude campaigned. This dude campaigned at welterweight. And I can say this much: I'm glad I didn't pay for that fight. If y'all haven't seen how Jake Paul is trash, and I think to a certain degree he knew it, and that's why he was saying, "Well, you had your chance, you had your chance." Well, he ain't no real fighter because when you fight, you got to have form. You got to have form. There's a difference between striking, and takedowns. He didn't have. If he had a little bit better form, he would have got Jake Paul up out of there. I'm telling you now, when I say Canelo will hospitalize Jake Paul. And Jake Paul being completely exposed, like I said before, I don't think he will ever fight an actual fighter. You heard him say, "Oh, I gotta evaluate this. I gotta evaluate this. I need to chill and all this stuff." Cause man, I told you the first time that he got really nailed, he was going self-destruct. He damn near self-destructed in that fight. He damn near self-destructed in that fight. But luckily, it was an 8-round fight. Had that been a 10-round fight, who knows what would have happened. And Woodley, he preserved his energy. And based off Woodley's past, it was hard for me to root for him. But yeah. Yeah, because he ain't a actual fighter. He ain't an actual fighter. Yeah, he barely won. He barely won. Like I said, if Tyron Woodley would have had more training, and who knows, he might do better in the next fight. He might actually knock Jake Paul out in the next fight. Jake Paul was talking about, well, I'm only 24. See, he don't want to do this. Can you imagine him getting hit by somebody like Canelo? Can you imagine him getting hit by David Benavidez? Can you imagine him getting hit by Deontay Wilder? They would, like I said, Jake Paul would get seriously hurt, and I think he knows it. I think he knows it. I think he knows it. I think Jake Paul know that I gotta end this charade before I really get he got further exposed. He didn't know what to do when he couldn't knock Woodley out. And then you could see in the final round, he was looking at the dude that got up to he was looking at the dude who rings the bell. He was like, this fight need to end. That's because, yeah, Cop Killer, that's because, like I said, he ain't a real man. I'm gonna tell you right now, on the real, uh the average boxer with minimal boxing skills would thrash Jake Paul. I'm just being honest. Because when he landed his power shots, he was waking Jake Paul up. Jake Paul was looking like, and I told y'all this months ago. I told y'all the first time he really got nailed, he was gonna damn near fall apart, and he damn near fell apart in that fight. That's why he was sitting up there. See, he could dish it out, but he can't take it. I told people months ago, like I said, if I was like, I told people months ago how to beat Jake Paul. Walk him down, use the high guard, hit him with body shots, and then fight him on the inside, hit him with body shots, go upstairs, go downstairs. He ain't gonna know what to do. Slip his punches, because you can see his punches coming a mile away. And I would turn Jake Paul. But like I said before, this is why he keep fighting MMA fighters. Talking about, oh, you had your chance, you had your chance. Oh, okay, I see what time it is. When he said, let's run it back. Let's run it back. And keep in mind, Tyrone Woodley was a welterweight when he fought MMA. And this is his niche. This is Fake Paul's niche. That's why I call him Fake Paul. He loved fighting dudes that's smaller than him. This dude sitting up talking about he want to fight Tank and all them type of dudes. He had Canelo on his fake list, but I think after tonight, I think he better think twice about fighting Canelo. I think he gonna get his ass whooped if he fight Tommy Fury. He better think twice about taking that fight. It might not end well for it might not end well. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jake Paul, if he continue to fight, he's going to be brutally knocked out. When I say he's going to be brutally knocked out, he's going to be brutally knocked out. I'm saying it ain't even going. When I say it ain't even going to be pretty, it ain't even going to be pretty. Well, Livewire. If I think Canelo saw this fight, and he probably like, I wouldn't even waste my time. Yeah, Pratt. He did try to win, but like I said, he need to have a little bit more form. Oh, you think Charlie Z would? Nah, I don't know about Charlie Z. Charlie Z is worse than Jake Paul. Nah, Jake Paul is too big for Charlie Z. Nah, he wouldn't. Charlie, said that. Hey, but don't be surprised. He could be next in line, cause he's smaller than Jake Paul, and that's the type of dudes that Jake Paul like to fight. Oh, they not gonna go into the octagon. You know that Cop Killer. They ain't gonna go into the octagon. They know they. I think everybody saw. I think everybody saw. I think everybody saw this now. This is a charade. This is a charade. I mean, to be honest, I would do it if the money was right. If the money was right, give me like 3 fights. I train I get in the best shape. I would do it, but I'm not big enough. But I do it. I do it. But I'm a media person, so I ain't supposed to be calling these dudes out. Hey, hey, it was nah, that was a knockdown. That was a knockdown because the ropes held him up. That's why he said that's why he said I'm 24. He said I may just kick back and I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, man, he saw it. When people started talking like that, he saw it. And then He let Tyrone Woodley punk him into he said, well, if you get the tattoo, then we'll run it back. And Tyrone Woodley said, okay, I'll get the tattoo. He thought he was gonna say, "Nah, I ain't getting the tattoo." So Tyrone Woodley said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get the tattoo." I think Tyrone Woodley, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if he really serious and he go like train with some, he had Miguel, one of Miguel Cotto's former trainers, but I think if he went like actually trained with some people like Derrick James or Bomac or somebody like that, or Kenny Porter, man, I'm telling you, Tyrone Woodley would hurt Jake Paul seriously. They not gonna fight, dude. I'm telling you, they not gonna fight. They not gonna fight no real fighter. So you wasting your time thinking that's gonna happen. Both of these dudes gonna get hurt if they like I said. Both of these dudes gonna get hurt if they continue to try to like keep this charade going. Cause like I said, at the end of the day, now people gonna be like, "Hey man, why you keep fighting MMA fighters? You got to fight a real fighter now." I mean, if you want it, I mean, that's fine. I don't have no problem with you saying that because if you Tyron Woodley looked it better, landed his power shots, and he was walking Jake Paul down. And there were parts in the fight where Jake Paul was backing up because he couldn't take the pressure. He couldn't take the pressure. He didn't like get. I told you he didn't like getting hit. Pratt, I don't want to see that. I think we've seen it. I think, don't you think we've seen enough of this? We know, I think we've seen enough of this. It's time for this dude. You four fights in, okay? You don't, you four fights in, okay? It's time for you to fight a real fighter. I think we've seen enough of this. I'm already tired of this. I don't want to see this no more. This is why I didn't cover that fight. But to me, I feel like it's a moral victory for Tyron Woodley because he didn't get knocked out. He didn't get hurt in that fight. He didn't get dropped. Keep in mind, Ben Askren, a lot of people think he went in there to lay down. Okay. Well, if you want to see Jake Paul's head going to the crowd versus Lennox Lewis, you go right ahead. Lennox Lewis wouldn't even accept that fight. I didn't had enough of this. I've had enough of this. I don't want to see this no more. I guess y'all look. I want to see the dude get beat up, but I don't want to see him get like. I don't want to see him become a vegetable. Man, we all know what happened with Ben Askren. Just keep in mind, this is a dude that got knocked out in 1 second. So we already knew what was. We already knew what was up with that. So I mean, I'm just saying, we already knew what was up with that. He went in there. He got his cup. He got his money. I'm gonna put up a tweet from Andre Ward. Andre Ward, he was pissed. I mean, I'm thinking I'm thinking maybe Andre Ward should come out of retirement and fight Jake Paul. But I don't think Jake Paul would take that fight because we know Andre Ward would whoop on Jake Paul mercifully. I mean, unmercifully. Well, your boxing. I kept saying use the high guard walk him down, hit him with uppercuts, hit him with body shots. Man, I would be teeing off on him. It would be like Sugar Shane Mosley versus Margarito. I use the high guard, walk him down, hit him with body shots, use the jab. You see Jake Paul's face is wide open. He could have walked in. He could have walked into something big. I don't want to see no more. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't want to see no more fights with fake Paul, and I'm gonna continue to call him fake Paul until he fight a real fighter. To me, the gig is up, and I know Showtime is trying to save face by saying, "Oh well, he, you know, he represented well for himself. No, he didn't. Because keep in mind, he was saying he was gonna sleep Woodley. He was saying he gonna do this, he gonna do that. He couldn't. He never hurt that dude. You couldn't get for real. You couldn't knock out a welterweight. You couldn't knock out a dude who fought at welterweight. Yeah, what's up, Coffee? Yeah, fake Paul, he is hot trash. He don't have no ring IQ. He don't have no ring IQ. He don't have no ring generalship. He trying to wing everything. And I keep trying to tell you I'm telling you that's not gonna work when he fight a real fighter. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Anderson Silva I think Anderson Silva would whoop on you notice fake Paul didn't have Anderson Silva on his list. You notice he didn't have Anderson Silva on his list because he seen what he did to Chavez Jr. I noticed Anderson Silva wasn't on that hit list though, but you had Tank on there. What I would do, Cop Killer, like I said, I would like let fake Paul, if it's an 8 round fight, I do enough, I do enough like to, make him get confident, but I would let him like punch himself out. Just use good defense. Don't get hit with nothing. Just throw an occasional jab, but I'll let him punch himself out. Then, like the middle of the third round, I just start teeing off on him. I just start teeing off on him. Dude said it correctly. All you had to do, if Tyron Woodley, all he had to do is use the high guard. Use the high guard, slip the jab, come in there. Like I said, Jake Paul could have walked into a overhand right. That overhand right was there for him all day. Jake Paul can't defend the high guard. He wouldn't have been able to defend the high guard. You'll be able to pock shot him to death. I mean, you basically could use any type of punch with Jake Paul. I mean, if you basically, because like I said, he don't have the footwork. You could walk him down. You could walk him down. You could get him to walk into something, and that's what I think a lot of these people fail to realize. He's not he's not gonna fare well when he fights an actual fighter. I noticed. I, I don't even think. I don't even from me to you, Kyle Killer. I don't even think Jake Paul gonna go the distance with Anderson Silva. I think Anderson Silva is gonna stop him. I think Anderson Silva would stop him inside 5 rounds. Anderson Silva always had a boxing pedigree. You know, Anderson Silva is pretty tall. Anderson Silva is like he might be 6 and some change, but he not. You know what I'm saying? We might hear from Anderson Silva. We might hear from him, but I'm gonna encourage Dre to come out of retirement and beat the hell out of. But I already know Jake Paul ain't gonna take that fight. He ain't gonna take that fight. I promise you, he ain't gonna take that fight. He talked about you seen what he said. Well, let's run it back. Oh, I understand you want to pay that Jake Paul making it look like you making like millions of dollars fighting him or something. Man, you making under. I mean, you making a couple of $100,000, but let's not make it look like you making millions. You need to speak for yourself. First of all, I never did know. First of all, I never covered this fight. So first of all, don't come on my channel disrespecting my channel. This is your first and only warning. Because how did we say who was going to win the fight when I never covered this fight? So I suggest you watch your mouth before I have somebody clap your ass. Once again, this is your first and only warning. I don't play that shit. Do not come on my platform disrespecting me. I will run your ass out of here. Now, I double dare you to say something smart. If this person say something smart, clap their ass. Now try me. Now try me. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, what's up, Dane? What's going on, man? See what I mean? You can't never have a stream without some clown showing up looking for attention. But I'm gonna give your ass, I'm gonna give your ass the attention that you want. But like I said, I double dare you to say something smart again. Don't ever speak on my channel because I didn't cover this fight. So Dalton, you had Woodley. You thought Woodley was gonna win. Appreciate the super chat. So Dalton, you thought Woodley won the fight, or you thought he would win the fight? Appreciate that, man. Super chat. Appreciate that. I mean, Dalton, like Dalton, your assessment is cool because you know what? Like I said, Woodley landed to me. He landed bigger shots. His shots look more telling. He had he had fake Paul backing up. When did Woodley back up? He had fake Paul like backing up throughout the fight because he didn't want to get hit with too many more of them shots. And he I didn't even get to see the women's fight because like I like walked in the door like as soon as the decision was announced. So I didn't get to see none of it. I think this is going like on the real. I think this is going to end. I think this is going to end very bad for fake Paul. I think this is going to end very bad. Like I said, and then why is Logan talking? You know what I'm saying? Why is Logan talking? Um, Jake Paul won, but it wasn't it wasn't an impressive win. He almost flew through the ropes. Oh, my man Justin McRae here. You know, shout out to my homie from the Bay. Yeah, Jake Paul almost flew through the ropes. That should have been a knockdown. Should have been a knockdown for real. Woodley ain't no boxer at all. He ain't no boxer at all. This was supposed to be a statement, and this is what I'm saying. And then you got fake Paul talking about well, he want to be taken seriously as a fighter. Man, you ain't no fighter. Man, like I said, I'm gonna put up that tweet that Dre put out because Dre he was heated. I don't even think they gonna make that fight. I don't even think they gonna make that fight, man. I could just name like man. I think Spence would beat Paul. I think Crawford would beat him. Both of the Chalos would beat him. Triple G would beat him. Um, Demetrius Andrade would beat him. Man, they would all knock that dude out, man. I just think Woodley needed more experience. I think he gonna do even better. I think he gonna do even better in the rematch. But I can tell you, Showtime was worried when they saw him go. He is celebrity. He is celebrity boxer. He is not no real box shit. He is celebrity boxer. He is not no real. He is not no real fighter. I would make Tyron Woodley watch like a lot of tapes. I say, see where you made a mistake at. You should have used the high guard. You should have like started to hit him to the body. What I would do, I would hit Jake Paul to the body. It's obvious that Jake Paul can't take no body shots. Yeah, I couldn't believe he had the nerve to call out Tank, man. That was like, come on, man. Just dude, will you stop it? I mean, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was that we thought we saw tonight, but that wasn't what you would call actual boxing. Like I said, if he want to call himself a celebrity boxer, you go right ahead, but you shouldn't be called a professional boxer when you yet to fight a professional boxer. You a celebrity fighter or whatever you want to call it. You the same, you just a high profile tough man fighter. That's all you are. Yeah, nah, he didn't call out nobody. He didn't call out nobody. He talked about he might stop fighting. He talked about he might stop fighting, man. So, like I said, I'm gonna put up the tweet. I'm gonna put up the tweet because I would love for Dre to come out of retirement and whoop on fake Paul, but Dre ain't gonna do it. I would damn near if I see Dre, I would get on my knees and beg him to fight, but Jake Paul ain't gonna take that fight because he know Andre Ward would murk him. Yeah, I know Dre chill. I know Dre chilling, but like I said, I'm gonna have somebody call Dre and encourage him to consider coming out of retirement. That's a payday for Dre. That's a payday. That's an easy payday for Dre. It'll do numbers. Dre probably would get. I mean, for real, because the fight would sell out. Because you know why? People would come in droves to see Andre Ward on whoop on Jake Paul. Because we know the outcome. I would pay because I know Dre would whoop on them. Dre would have to do minimal training. And here's the thing: Dre could make cruiserweight because Dre walk around probably at maybe two and some change now. But I'm gonna encourage Dre to consider coming out of retirement. That's a payday for him. And I would put pressure, and I would ask Dre to put pressure on Jake Paul to take that fight, but he ain't gonna take it. He fake. He fake, man. I'm like, come on, man. I'm tired of this, man. You couldn't, like I said, you were supposed to knock Woodley out, man. You almost went through the ropes. Had Woodley had a man, had Woodley had more time to train and had a better skill set, man, he would have knocked fake Paul out. But like I said, I had a chance. I had a chance to cover this fight. Like I told Justin I wasn't covering this fight. Showtime was sending me all kind of emails asking me to do video. I wasn't covering this fight, but I'll talk about it since it's over with. And then not to mention, Woodley he outed, allegedly he outed the Paul brothers for basically being on that juice, because report came out that there was no post fight drug testing for this fight. So that really says a lot about fake Paul if he was on that juice and he still couldn't get Woodley out of there. Woodley tough though, you know. Woodley is tough. But anyway, y'all, thanks for tapping in though. Be back with more later on.